So you just finished watching the first two episodes and now you're confused. And so is everyone else. I wouldn't feel too bad as they tried to adapt over 200 pages into 2 episodes. This video is meant to clear things up, hopefully. First, forget you ever saw this. When Zhou transmigrated, the adaptation doesn't make it clear that he retained the memories and experiences of the body he now inhabits. This is going to be an important detail for Zhou's character progression. The Antigonus Notebook, the suspected item that caused the deaths of 3 history graduates, is a grade 1 sealed artifact which was in possession of the Church of the Evernight Goddess. The Nighthawks, a branch of the church, was in charge of its safekeeping. Sealed artifacts are items that contain Beyonder characteristics and can even behave like living creatures. They are graded from 3 through 0. The lower it is, the more powerful and dangerous. In order to keep track of these dangerous artifacts, they're stored behind Channis Gate, located in Tinkin Nighthawk headquarters, functioning as a safety vault, constantly monitored by the keepers. As Klein begins to piece together his scattered memories, we're introduced to Melissa, his younger sister. Yeah, I don't know how the translations are this awful, as they not only got the location wrong but also the school. The Moretti living conditions aren't the best. Their diet consists mostly of rye bread and meat is eaten sparsely as is considered a luxury. They're very much living in poverty. Sticking with the theme, the currency of Lord of Mysteries is just as confusing as their lore. 1 Lowen pound derived from gold is equal to 20 soli, silver, and each soli is worth 12 pence, copper. Roselle Gustav is a name you're going to be very familiar with as the story progresses, as Klein tracks down his scattered diary pages to attain knowledge from his senior transmigrator, in hopes to better understand both Roselle's sex life, life, and the mysteries of the world he now inhabits. As Klein is transported, there is a sea of red stars representing potential individuals that can be pulled up to the Grey Fog. Aubrey Hall is shown looking at a mirror and Alger Wilson, flask in hand, simultaneously cracks, acting as a catalyst for their summoning. Inside the Grey Fog, each individual is shrouded by illusionary fog, with it being densest around Klein. As the 2 individuals places authority upon him, he has 2 choices to make: play victim in hopes to find a way to escape, or leans into the mysterious being that occupies the Grey Fog. It might have seemed that Klein was rather quick in taking up the role as the fool, but he was actually extremely terrified. The 2 individuals also seemed surprisingly calm, but in reality they were internalizing the type of abilities required to pull off this feat, and ultimately came to the conclusion that they were dealing with a godlike entity. Alger, being the calm and calculated of the 2, took the initiative to prove their usefulness out of fear, as it was apparent that they could be pulled up to this realm at any time, which was gladly accepted by the fool as he was in desperate need of intelligence. Alger, the man who goes by the codename Hangman, was immediately shown to be a scary and powerful Beyonder. The first thing he does upon returning is execute a man by crushing his throat and slamming him into a wall, which gives us an oh shit moment considering we don't know who he is or if he possesses any danger to Klein. Upon waking up, he has been unknowingly pulled into a dream by Dunn Smith. As a nightmare, Dunn specializes in dreams and is able to interrogate them, giving subtle guidances to his victims to expose their deepest secrets. However, unknowingly to Dunn, Klein's uniqueness stemming from the Grey Fog allows him to remain fully aware throughout the process, preventing him from obtaining any meaningful information. This leads Klein to meeting Dali Simone, a Sequence 7 spirit medium of the Death Pathway. Her abilities revolve around things related to spirits, including spirit bodies, an extension of the physical form that exists in the spirit world. By manipulating the spirit body, she uncovers traces connected to the individual. And yet again, Klein's uniqueness stemming from the Grey Fog protects his transmigration secret. After accepting the invitation to join the Nighthawks, Klein is led to the headquarters behind yet another facade, Blackthorn Security Company. The Tinkin Nighthawks operate behind the guise of a security company, and even accept jobs pertaining to security work. We are introduced to Roseanne, the clerk, who's noticeably wary of Dunn Smith, which is to be expected as she's not an official member, so she has limited knowledge pertaining to mysticism. Even with our brief introduction to Dunn, it's clear that he's a reliable and empathetic leader, and someone to keep an eye on throughout the series. We also meet O'Neill, a mentor figure who loves to exploit financial loopholes in his expense reports, a hidden benefit of being an official Beyonder. It's here that Klein's introduced his first Roselle diary page, confirming his suspicions that he too was a transmigrator. This diary log also introduces the important mechanics of acting, a method to quickly digest potions, as Roselle vents his anger over his children's inability to grasp this concept. He also expresses his regrets of his pathway choice and guides Klein to choosing the Seer potion. Under normal circumstances, a new recruit like Klein would need to amass enough credits through contributions to trade for a potion. But due to the schedule of the adaptation, we skip the process and jump right to it. The process of concocting a potion is also pretty complicated. Main ingredients are fixed, while supplementary ones can be substituted with their corresponding ingredients. Sequence 9 potions are typically safe, and most Beyonders at this level can live fairly normal lives without fear of losing control. Seer in particular has zero combat capabilities but excels in divination and rituals, along with perks like Spirit Vision and Danger Intuition. Luckily, Klein still has Welch's pistol, which Dunn allowed him to keep, along with some demon hunting bullets that O'Neill made sure he reimbursed. In the kidnapping case, we were introduced to Dowsing Rod, a divination art where objects like cane can point to the direction pertaining to the question. However, it's dependent on personal belongings if the user lacks the information. Here we see our first Beyonder fight and witness the dangers of corruption as we watch the rogue Beyonder lose control. Klein returns home and falls asleep and experiences deja vu connected to the kidnapping incident. As a seer, he's able to delve deeper into the suspicion through his dreams, and comes to the realization that the seemingly coincidental kidnapping was actually tied to the location of the missing notebook. The scene after the ending sequence might seem like a minor detail but holds a lot of significance for Klein's character development, and the reasoning behind the choices he makes in Tengen. Moving into a new home was meant to be a heartfelt moment for the Moretti family, who had been living in deep poverty after losing their parents at a young age, which forced their eldest brother Benson to drop out of school and take a job that paid less than half of what Klein makes at his temporary position as a clerk, which was changed in the adaptation, possibly an attempt to place less importance on Klein's newfound wealth. Klein took great pride in providing a better life for his siblings. He couldn't help but feel sentimental after countless evening small talks at the dinner table as they bickered about finances. Their previous landlord Frank was a butt of an ongoing joke for being as intelligent as a curly-haired baboon. Moments like these were some of my personal favorites from this arc, and it's a shame to see them cut out from this adaptation. These 2 episodes were very densely packed, so I focused on giving context to everything that was shown rather than discuss what was cut out, which we'll likely miss on its delivery since the web novel is a slow burner with payoffs. I personally believe that the adaptation is best enjoyed in its isolation, as the difference in experience can be quite jarring. This isn't a criticism of the adaptation, but rather its limitation as a genre. Anyways, hopefully this video helped you better understand these 2 episodes. And until next time, later.